guys. Sacha will be on for about 8 minutes or so you can lift your hands for questions.
Sacha, first of all, congratulations on making your debut. 2 years ago, you basically just made your sort of debut for Stormers in that first URC season. You're now Springbok. Can you just reflect on how quickly things have changed? Everybody's always had high hopes for you since under 20s, but also maybe coping with that expectation and sort of the journey you've had so far.
Yeah, it's happened fast. I've had a few injuries, so there hasn't been lacked some game time, which has been frustrating. But on the other hand, getting to understand the game on a deeper level, analyzing, spending lots of time on my laptop, it's certainly helped. And yeah, there's an expectation level that comes into being Sacha, I guess. But there's a lot of people that make Sacha: my parents, my coaches, my friends, my family. Yeah, the guys back at the union at Stormers, I give a lot of credit to them because, you know, as a youngster coming through the system, it's not easy, especially playing at inside centre where a lot of your players are usually experienced. So, yeah, I've had a fast 2 years, but it's been well accompanied by some strong people. So, yeah.
Sacha, when you walked onto the field on Saturday, you looked cool, calm, not like somebody playing in front of a Twickenham and Commercial crowd. Just tell us on that kick, what went through your head and how do you keep so calm?
Yeah, those sort of kicks, you know, the thing is we work on that and you get to understand your range and the distance you can kick. So when you ask for the ball to take a kick, it's not supposed to be a gamble, you know, it's a trusting thing. And one thing they've got right here at the Springboks is that they trust you. I asked for that ball from Peter Steff and he said, Slalom, and I kicked it over, you know. And I mentioned in the interview after the game that Tony Brown had helped me and my kicking coach at the Stormers. And, you know, like I said, all these things come into play and when the kick comes, it's another day of practice and it just happens to be in front of a lot of people, which is what, you know, we all want to do, experience one day.
Sacha, you mentioned family and friends. There was a very nice Twitter post with regard to your grandfather with the piece that Ronnie Castro wrote about Barry Feinberg. Just talk us through that particular bit of history and what it means for you to be a Springbok, especially when you look at your grandfather's very anti-apartheid past and some of the connotations the box had when you move from the past into today.
Yeah, my grandpa obviously played a huge role. You know, he was at the side of every rugby game. He passed end of last year. Don't want to get emotional. Yeah, he would have loved to see that. So that's everything he fought for. So, yeah, proud.
And then that you obviously having your dad there at the stadium on Saturday must have also been very special.
Yeah, he caught a flight on the Thursday, so got in on Friday. Had to go via Ethiopia or something crazy, so he knew whatever he was going to do, he was going to get there. So, you know, that meant the most to me. I had my godfather there. My mates from Cape Town were there. There was a full circle moment at the home of rugby in England. So that was just such a special moment for me, and to share it with them was awesome.
Sacha, you've really spoken about working with Damian Willemse, Mighty Bob, for example, at Stormers camp. Now you're working with likes of Tony Brown, Andre Pollard. How important is it in these situations to become a bit of a sponge and to just try and take everything you can out of a squad that's got so many World Cup winners, double World Cup winners, and different sort of experiences? Yeah,
like you said, sponge mentality is me at the moment. I fully understand that I'm a new boy in the system, and I've got a lot of work to do, and a lot of things to fix. And you know, with the people around me, I'm certain that, you know, slowly but surely I'll get that right. And you know, even yesterday, just when we're kicking, watching Villy kick a ball, watch Andre kick a ball, you know, every sort of repetition these guys get, you pick up something. Whether it be Jesse in the warm-up or Andre kicking. So it's an environment where there's a lot of learnings and an invaluable experience. So, you know, like you said, I'm trying to just sponge as much in as possible.
And you've also mentioned now, you know, you see yourself as a fly-off, that's still your favourite position. Is it still your favourite, and is it maybe the responsibility that comes with it, maybe that makes it so attractive? What is it about that particular position, even though you can play 10, 12, 15, that you enjoy so much?
I love playing fly-off, but I love just playing rugby, so 10, 12, 15, wherever it may be, I'm happy. But personally, you know, a lot of time I spent in high school working on my game was on my kicking, and personally I feel like it's come through solidly. So at fly half, just being able to use my boot is probably the one part I enjoy, and trying to dictate the momentum of the game. It's a pressure that you want, where your team has to sort of look to you for direction and game management. So that's something I enjoy. But also at the same time, getting minutes on the park in any position is amazing. Like I said, I've had a few injuries, so I'm the last guy to be sort of determined to get one position. Any time I can get minutes on the field, I'll take it, and I'll do what the boss says.
Sacha, when everyone knows you as the rugby player, but I'm sure there's more to you than just the rugby player on the field. What don't people know about you? What will they be surprised about finding out about you?
Just on that, I try to keep my social media and that type of stuff rugby, because that's what you guys kind of see me as. Let's not beat around the bush there, my identity as a rugby player. But I stay in the house with a few guys. My dad's around the corner, my brother's a phone call away. Backgammon boards on the table. I keep myself occupied. I love watching rugby, and I love spending time with my friends. But that's my life. And to the general public and all these cameras, I'm a rugby player, and I'll stick with my profession with that. But yeah, I'm Sash to my mates, and Sacha Feinberg-Mngomezulu to you guys. Yeah.
Sacha, you talk about how you play and your injuries in particular. How do you balance the need to be a skilled playmaker, game manager, but also not trying to temper on the physicality that makes you quite a unique rugby player?
Yeah, that's important. One thing in the game, I was on the floor once or twice, and they say a trait of a good fly-off is that he's on his feet as much as possible. So, striking that balance between getting involved and being on your feet and being able to sort of control the game, dictate the game is one thing in itself. So I guess that will come with experience, just not being over eager. It's a packed crowd and you kind of just want to get stuck in, but matter of the fact is you actually just need to take a back seat and let the big boys do the work. So I think that's something that will come with time.
And Sacha, Franco Smith, the coach of the Glasgow Warriors, is of the opinion that Loftus is the best stadium in the world. He says there's no wind, you can kick the ball flies. Yeah. Are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, if I get the opportunity, it's one of the biggest tests we've had here for a while, so it's going to be exciting. Loftus is, from a franchise level, it's a pretty intimidating ground, and I've never experienced it as a South African player, but I'm sure, based on what the Bulls supporters provide the Bulls, I'm sure it's going to be electric and a stadium that's going to really pump. And off the tee, the ball's going to travel a few meters further, and I think they'll play into our advantage, especially with our strong kicking game. You can expect a lot from Andre or Manu, whoever's going to, myself, whoever to kick. That ball's going to travel, and we'll be able to put teams under pressure there.
Speaking of intimidation, in particular, you look at the South African and the Irish teams in particular have built quite a rivalry in the URC. We've seen how feisty the games between Munster and Leinster and Stormers have been. We've also seen how they've turned out here. Has that added an extra layer to the South Africa-Ireland clash outside of what just transpired in the World Cup and post-it?
Yeah, I think so. It looks like we dislike each other, but I think there's a bittersweet relationship there because it's always a challenge, and at professional rugby, you want to challenge. You don't want to turn up and smoke teams. So, what the Irish and the South Africans have provided for each other as rugby teams and the supporters, it's everything the rugby community needs. And the Bulls-Leinster game, a tough game, a tight game, everything you want to see in rugby. I hope this carries on for a long time, but I hope the green flag's on the right side there.
Sacha, just for a lot of young folks that follow you, that are inspired by your story, just obviously playing international level is a bit of a notch up. I would describe it for them, how it's like that level.
Yeah, there's no days off here. Literally the day off, you should still be analyzing, improving on your game. It's physically demanding, it's mentally demanding, it's an intense environment, more so than franchise level, whilst franchise level is still very professional. But like you said, it's a notch up. It's experienced heads, it's experienced coaches, it's guys who take a big pride in their jobs. So that reciprocates onto the players, and that's what's expected from you in this sort of environment. To take your job seriously and to do your job to the best of your abilities. Sorry.
Awesome. Thank you, Sash. Thank you, everybody.